Hi Neil,
Hey, Precious, how are you?
I'm good. So welcome to another episode of the 10x Developer Podcast, and
Mm.
I'm so excited, so excited about this week and what it has. So we have a lot of interesting stories. I think last week was OpenAI Dev Day. I don't
Mm.
know. Last week was OpenAI Dev Day, and that is
Correct.
our topic today is all about OpenAI and ChatGPT
A
apps
a lot
inside
of a lot of new
ChatGPT.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came up with a lot of new stuff. Sora, the agent builder, and
hmm
sounds like agent link, but yeah.
We should talk about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about that. Yeah, so we have a lot of interesting things coming from OpenAI. Then we also have stories from Google, Samsung, interesting Samsung. I think there is also a news from Apple. I'm not sure, but yeah, we have a lot of interesting things going on here
Yeah,
today.
a lot of there is an
Right.
Anthropic release also sort of interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you start us off?
But yeah, so talking about OpenAI, I think I have a tiny demo here showing, what they did. So
Mhm.
they call this apps inside apps, right? So
Yeah,
you know
chat
the
with your apps.
yeah, chat with your apps, right? So I've used this, so I'm going to explain first off. I'm going to start explaining how it works for me, how it works for
Correct.
me. So
Mm.
I created a content, right? I have
Yeah.
this content in text. I gave it to ChatGPT and I said, "Hey, I want you to work on this content with me. It's a
Mm.
social media content. I want to create a LinkedIn version and a Twitter
Mm.
version, right?
Mm.
So I already have the idea. I gave you the idea and everything. So it created a LinkedIn version of that content and it
Mm.
created a Twitter version, which came in Twitter threads, thread one, thread two, thread three, and then closing and the links and everything. And then
Okay.
ChatGPT now suggested to me and they said, "Do you want us to work on a design for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they said, "Activate." So I just saw Canva pop up on the box where I type in my text input box, and then I just clicked enter. It went on to make a Canva design for me. But before that, it asked me to connect my Canva. So that is where the MCP part of things comes in. So
Mm.
ChatGPT connects to different types of apps like Spotify, like Coursera. I don't know if it connects to Coursera, but then Spotify, Canva, and Zillow, I think bookings.com and some other apps. Now it connects to
Mm.
them using MCP. And then what it
Mm.
now means is that ChatGPT can now go into those platforms and carry out specific tasks for you without
Mm.
you doing anything or lifting a finger. In my case, he designed that particular the visuals I needed for my content, for my social media content for me without me
Mm.
going into the app, right? So it
Mm.
can go into bookings.com and book a flight for book hotel for you in Japan for your holiday. It can
Mm.
go into Spotify and create a heartbreak list for you for those that are heartbroken or any of those
It can
things.
it can work with Uber also, make a reservation on a
Yeah,
restaurant using OpenTable.
ex-
Yeah.
exactly. So, and I think it's a kind of cutting edge stuff. It's cutting edge stuff, and
Mhm.
it's really interesting because and I'm thinking, what does this mean for app developers, people that are going to build apps tomorrow,
Mhm.
and people that are building
Mhm.
products
And
tomorrow?
so I think that's a valid point, right? I mean, this is sort of taking a direction of ChatGPT is sort of building an app store now, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So, should we now
mhm.
start creating apps to list on ChatGPT and then
Mhm.
start
I
bothering
think
about
it's
stuff? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not either or. I think I thought using MCP was a really good most interesting, right? I mean, so that means essentially every app is creating an MCP server and ChatGPT is connect to it. I'm happy that they're using the standard. So that will make
yeah,
it super easy for other developers to sort of jump in. I mean, I think it's totally makes sense, right? I mean, maybe we should when I could totally see Agent Link being one of that here, where companies could use Agent Link for automating their back office operation sort of thing, right?
yeah.
Um, the one of the fundamental reason for this is that I mean, ChatGPT has what 800
Mhm.
million users. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
huge
it
distribution
is.
channel. Yeah, yeah. I
I,
think. Mm.
I think the distribution is also like a very interesting thing. So if people can
Mhm.
find my app in ChatGPT, then I mean, it's a win-win both for the app creator
Mm.
and the ChatGPT
Mm.
guys.
So it will be interesting. So just from the MCP perspective too, fundamentally, models struggles a little bit. If you if you if you add two MCP servers, which opens up APIs that are very similar. Okay.
Yeah,
So let's say if you have, let's take an Uber example. If you have Lyft and Uber in the
yeah.
App Store and you say, book me a ride, I'm very curious how ChatGPT is going to handle which app it will bubble up.
So I think it will suggest for you. I think it's going to suggest for you, and then you're going to select
Yeah.
the ones. Yeah, I think it's going to give you a list of apps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then it becomes sort of then the experience is not seamless a little bit. So anyway, I mean, I think it's not open yet though, right? They're taking applications. Is that it? What's the status now? I don't
so
think it's open for anybody yet.
I used the one for Canva, right? I think it's open.
No, no, no.
Slightly.
I want to, no, no. I want to, let's say for the builders to
Oh,
submit
for
your app.
the viewers, no, no, no. I don't think it's
Oh,
anybody yet.
okay, okay,
Not.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's
All right.
definitely interesting.
So
I mean,
yeah,
everybody saw this coming.
yeah. Everybody saw this coming. So I also think very interesting one. Then there are other things that the week at the dev. So do you mind? Do you have any of those ones on your stories?
Yeah. So let's talk about another sort of a big one. The launch of an agent kit. Okay, so this is
Yeah,
an. I was playing with this today morning a little bit too. So agent kit is the way of think of your NA10 Zapier sort of environment where you can come in and build workflow. They all use sort of React Flow, that UI drag and drop. Um, I don't know if I can share my screen. Uh, I can share my screen, don't I? I
yes, you
should be
can.
able
You
to.
can. You
Yeah.
can.
Mm. So this is what the typical flow looks like, right? You can build, this is an example one, where you can drag and drop. If you want to add an MCP server, it will just drop in Node. You click it and you add all the MCP server options they have. So it's pretty straightforward. If you have built workflow like this with drag and drop with any other tools, you should be able to come in here. So this is definitely sort of very interesting too, right? Especially how this is going to compare to other platforms out there. There are a couple of things that really stand out for me that I thought was interesting. The first thing is a guardrail. I
Yeah.
thought this was brilliant. This is like an way for specifically, I'm assuming this workflow and agent builder is going to attract lots of non-technical folks, right? Um, freelancers and knowledge workers to come in and sort of build and automate their workflow, right? If you're a solo
Yeah.
founder, you're going to come in and build your sort of content generation. Precious, I can see you building a workflow here for content generation, right?
Yeah.
Um, so Guardrail is a very interesting way to sort of do an sort of validation check, right? It has capabilities to do jailbreak. That means if anyone trying to do a prompt injection, it will try to detect that. It detects for hallucination or any PII data. If customer accidentally or user accidentally submits some personal information, your workflow can stop that process.
Hmm.
This kind of validations are really, really important, I feel like, because this is where traditionally most of the workflow has gone wrong. Like it makes mistakes, and then people can
Yeah.
inject doing prompt injection attacks to kind of violate the workflow. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really, really interesting. The one thing that I struggle a little bit is that even I had a hard time. I was able to publish it, but then what happened is to actually test this app, I need to validate my ID.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, upload my driver license or some sort of government state ID identification to sort of use it. As you can see, my deploy sort of is closed right now. I cannot use it, which I found really odd. I haven't completed the process because I'm really hesitant to upload my driver license or stuff like that on random websites. But it's interesting. I'm very curious if anybody knows why they're doing this, because I would
Wow,
have loved to test it out immediately, but apparently we cannot.
that's interesting. I don't know why they would want
Yeah,
adding an extra layer application on.
yeah.
I don't think that is a smart
So
one.
there are a couple of interesting things they have done on top of this, which I thought was interesting, is they released something called what they call is Chatgpt. So you know how the chat interface of ChatGPT essentially is
Yeah.
now an SDK.
Okay.
Um, so that means is that obviously if you want ChatGPT like chat interface for your workflows, you can use ChatGPT. So that means when user invokes your workflows that you built using AgentKit, it will almost feel like ChatGPT. The other thing I've noticed, which could be useful, I'm very interested to explore this, that you can also use ChatGPT for inside your own products. So you know how for Agent Link we are sort of building in our chat interface is going to be a little different though, but we're building sort of the chat interface, right? Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
nice to get something like ChatGPT which has thinking, threading, and all that chat interface that we are used to in ChatGPT? You can now embed that in any product.
Oh,
Which I thought
wow.
was really cool. Yeah.
That's really cool, though. I mean, first of all, last week, I think, the rumor came out before the Dev Day, and then we talked about it last week when we were talking about, oh, how is anything going to, deal with it, and a couple of
Yeah.
other stuff,
Mm.
around this thing. And then I think I also saw some clip on how it works and all. I think theirs is a
Mm.
little bit very simple
Mm.
to use. I've tried using Make and some other ones, and then
Yeah,
it's
I would like to
Make
see
Zapier.
how they, as Zapier, how they're positioning this. Now,
Yeah,
you mentioned Agent Link. I mean, I don't know whether it's important for the audience yet because we haven't shown the product yet. But for Agent Link, we are a little different. We are not, because that's why from the day one, I was very reluctant to build an agent builder
yeah,
because I knew something like this going to be on up for others to use it. We are playing in a space where the types of agents that we are building is non-trivial. Type of agents we are building needs you saw the demo Friday, right? It needs
yeah,
an operator. It needs somebody who's verifying the workflows. It's more
yeah,
complicated than that. So I feel like there would be sort of three different layers. So on one side, you have agent links that anyone can come in and start building agents. On the other
yeah,
side, you're going to have extreme complicated agents like Replit, like other like Claude SDK or Claude Code, all these agentic interfaces. And I think there's a middle gray area where you are building complicated or semi-complicated workflows that needs multiple parties involved here: user, developer, operator, professionals, compliance, all this. I
yeah.
think that's the space sort of we are playing in.
I think I was also concerned with the type of, we've always looked at anything, right, internally at Stubli, and when we do our own reviews and all, we
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
how you really can build like real, like some complicated agents using platforms
yeah,
like that, right? And I'm also
yeah,
bothered about, I'm maybe not bothered, I'm just concerned about the level of agents we are going to see. Are these just automations? Are we really seeing like proper agents that can like take actions and think
right.
through things and all? Are we just
That's true.
having
And
automations
these are
with,
workflows, not really truly agentic loops, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and
And
I
data
also think that,
security and all that stuff too, right? It's
yeah,
important.
it's very, very important. I also think those of us in this space might need to start talking about the real difference between the agents and then, the workflows. Because if you go on Upwork now, you're going to see a lot of people say, hey, I built AI agent. And when you ask them what do you use to build, and they will tell you it's anything. And you really
Hmm.
can't blame them, right? You really
Hmm.
can't blame them. So
Yeah.
for Agent Link, basically, I think is going to be more hands-on, proper agents more than workflows, right? I think the question now is, should, for us, it's for us to answer. Should we make Agent Link open where people like this can have like people that build their own workflows on or agents on
No, we
ChatGPT?
cannot though, right? I mean, fundamentally, I don't want to because then like we are in the gray area again, right? We are trying to
Yeah.
automate the playbooks that are very complicated, which needs a team of people to work together. So,
Work together.
and the types of workflow that we are automating also going to have lots of steps where human in the loop verification steps,
Oh,
which
okay.
are which are possible sometimes to build. I was seeing the code that it generates, the agent kit, the code it
Mm.
generates is, yeah, I mean, we're solving a different problem. I feel like
Yeah,
in one day, can agent builder or agent kit get there? I'm sure maybe they can.
they can. Okay.
In those cases, we might consider using some tools like this. Yeah.
All
But right now
right.
there are too many constraints. I do like to mention that they're using couple of. I haven't verified this. Now, one of the things that this builder does, which I think is very unique, obviously the guardrails I thought was super smart. Kudos to OpenAI for doing this. I think this is one of the missing step that I see in lots of other agent builders. And other things, I think they have sort of reinforced and fine tuning. I think they're using GEPA, GEPA, or in my notes it said RFT. So what's doing is
Um,
that this workflow, the core loop, essentially, the intelligence, it sort of optimizes system prompts as you use this workflows. So, so in a way, what I'm trying to say is that this workflow is going to get better and better as users start to use them because they are sort of self-learning. So that's baked in
yeah.
into that product.
Oh, okay. Yeah, really makes sense. I think it's also very, very important. It's also important to note that, I mean, this does not mean that you will not still think through your agent creation process. You're still going to think through your architecture.
Mm,
Most likely, you're going to do like almost like a pseudocode. Oh, okay, this agent, I want you to do this before you even get into
yeah.
be able to use this and to build like an agent. Yeah.
Oh, this
So
is
and
where
then,
this is good. This is good. This is good. I don't want to name. I was talking to someone about this too. Now, what? So you might have to consider like I don't know how Anytone was doing as a business. Maybe they were really doing good, but the
yeah,
typically problem with not problem one thing that happens a lot is that we're going to see lots of companies going to start using these workflows to quickly prototype something. Okay.
yeah,
And once they prototype it, they're going to take this out and put it in their product and ship it.
yeah,
So that's why I feel like lots of companies who are into this workflow builder find it hard to monetize their business because people do come in, quickly prototype this because it's super easy to prototype this stuff using these builders,
yeah,
right? It's a really good product.
yeah.
And once say, okay, this kind of work, they will copy this and put
They
it in
take
their
it and they
product.
won't take it further.
Yeah, so that's always a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. So the next thing I have here is from Google. So Google launches Gemini 2.5 computer use, right?
Mm,
So they call it the AI that clicks, type and scroll through UIs.
mm,
It's interesting because I think um, this Divergent already does that. But yeah, anyways. So Google DeepMind releases Gemini 2.5 computer use a model that can directly interact with your user interface by clicking, typing, scrolling, and filling out forms. So
mhm,
the model operates in an action observation loop. It receives a UI screenshot, then check the action history and the context, then predict the next action and iterate until completion. It
mm,
is optimized for browser and it performs strongly on mobile benchmark and it leads in web control latency. So basically, this thing is going to, just like we've seen, is going to bridge the gap between natural language agent and graphical interfaces. Instead of you taking screenshot and going to put it and say, "Oh, analyze the screenshot for me" and all those things, you can easily say, "Oh, you know, use this link or do this particular thing or fill out this form for me on the website." So agent to UI. Now, when I saw this, I was like, oh, I mean, I've been using Comet browser for a while.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
How's your experience have been so far?
yeah, good. I mean, it feels a little weird when I type out something and then I'm getting AI response instead of Google response. But I think generally it
Mm,
has been good. The browser works almost at the same level with Chrome, and
mm,
it's it's good. It works. One of the first things I did was that I searched my name, right? My name and my surname, and I put it in, and then it gave me like the way Chatgpt interface is. It came out with everything, and then just down, I found out that it was confusing me with another of my friend whose name is Precious, and it was a very weird thing. So he was saying that I work in open source and all that. I don't work in open source. She works in open source. But then he was saying those things as if this was me. And, because I work in tech, someone might want to believe that. But
Mm,
generally, I think it has been good, easy.
mm,
So I can easily extract information. I used it while researching for
mm.
was able to
Yeah.
research Twitter, extract some things from Twitter, and
Mm, mm. Interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah, my general sense about any it's a computer is everyone has it now, right? I mean, I think Claude came out with first, then I think OpenAI has now. My only concern, the only one of the reason that we are not using this on our Trello or BizDev agent is that um, it's expensive. So I was very curious to know how Google have priced it. It's expensive and it's slow. So sometimes it's comparatively easier to, even if it might not be accurate, easier to sort of, in some cases, maybe accurate, easier to use DOM. Um,
Yeah.
that's one of the reason why we wanted to be part of the extension ecosystem, because it is easier to sort of navigate and scan.
Oh,
But yes, I mean, it's a matter of time. I'm sure this thing. So, but I'm very curious how expensive this is, because computer is usually very expensive. So speaking of, I want to cover a couple of stories very quickly. It's same with, well, everybody. If OpenAI is building agents, why not others, right? So, I have a couple of stories from one from Google and one from AWS. Um, uh, so both of them are essentially the Google released something called what they call is an enterprise AI agent platform. So it uses, if you are subscribed to Gemini Enterprise. I'm just going through my notes here. Gemini Enterprise in here, you're gonna get pre-built agents for common use. Maybe this is not directly targeting agent builder, but it's more targeting Microsoft's Copilot and agent system. So Google has now one, and similarly, AWS released something they call AI-powered automation. So Amazon Quick Suite, they released it last week. Is a collection of agentic AI tools aimed to automate your workflow businesses.
oh,
When I see all of this stuff, right? So Microsoft, now OpenAI is going to have some, Google's going to have some, AWS is going to have some. I think for businesses, it essentially boils down to what they use, right? I mean, I'm 90% of the time, this is going to boil down to, if you're a Microsoft shop, you're going to use Microsoft Copilot and AI agents. If you've been
yeah.
using GCP, you're going to be using their automation,
Amazon, yeah.
AWS. So, I mean, I don't think we're going to
But
see like
where does that leave?
one ruling the world. Mhm.
Where does that leave OpenAI ChatGPT?
No, I mean, OpenAI, I think this might be interesting challenge for OpenAI. I was thinking about this too,
Yeah.
because that's why they're heavily investing on B2B sides now, right? And OpenAI has a leverage with Microsoft, right? I mean, they have some key partnership. I mean, that way they
Oh,
can go in. I know lots of company uses an OpenAI enterprise. Could be that will be another channel, but Google, AWS, and Microsoft has a huge leverage in here, right? They're already within these companies and enterprises, right? They already have a system that companies are using. For them, it's super easy to switch to Microsoft Copilot or GCP Copilot. You know what I mean, right?
yeah.
Rather than getting a new vendor in, signing them up, doing the proposals, SOWs, and all that. That's a friction that new companies have to struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's necessarily not, this is the real world, guys. It's necessarily not the best tool wins the world, right? I mean, it's about
Yeah.
convenience and who is in, who is
It was
part of
in,
the
yeah.
conversation.
I mean, over the over the weekend, it was on Friday, I got access to so Gemini, Google has been giving out 1 year subscription to students, and because I'm still doing my MBA, I got access. You
Mm.
know,
Hmm.
I don't think I've opened my ChatGPT since then.
There you go.
Because yeah, I haven't
There you
opened my
go.
ChatGPT. Yeah, because
Mm.
it feels like it's smooth for me from my email to my Google Docs to my everything feels like it's a flow. And then I also noticed the response has been way better than what I was getting initially, which was why I wasn't using it. So
So this
yeah, I
is
think
interesting. So for Google, I mean, that's a good point. So we have a Google account, right? I don't know whether ours is enterprise, but as a small business, we can unlock all this AI agents from Google for 2 billion
oh
because it's just $21 for small businesses. So there you go,
oh
right? I mean, it's suddenly Gemini models are not bad. I mean, I think I'm really impressed with Gemini that Pro 2.1 Pro. I
yeah, I
think
think
that's one of the
2.5
core
Pro.
model. Yeah, yeah, 2.5. Thank you. Yeah,
That's 2.5 Pro,
I mean
yeah.
it's pretty good. I mean,
Yes,
I'm heavily using it right now. So
yeah. All right. So the next story I have here is Samsung. This is very interesting. So I think I have the paper somewhere here. Let's just put it on the screen. This is the great transformer model. All right. So it's called TRM, Tiny Recursion Model. So it's a 7 million parameter AI that beats giants on ARC AGI. So it's a research paper, right? I
mm,
think I'll have to look for the link to the paper and drop it
I
in.
got the link.
Okay, yeah. So this is a new part from Samsung AI. So they are saying that this is a minimalistic alternative to large reasoning systems like ChatGPT or hierarchical reasoning models. So this TRM uses a tiny two-layer network to recursively refine its answers and still outperforms LLMs on complex reasoning benchmarks. So how it does this thing is that instead of billions of parameters and a chain of thoughts or chain of thought prompts, this TRM loops over its own outputs to improve the answer step by step.
Mm,
So no
mm,
biologic, so yeah, no biological metaphor. Complex maths is just it takes its own answer and then you know. So it runs on 7 million parameters and then it achieves 87% on Sudoku Extreme and 85% on Maze Hard and beats top LLM on ARC AGI puzzles. It works by maintaining two states, the current answer and the latent reasoning. That's the current answer and the latent. The reasoning feature
mm.
by updating recursively. So it takes the current answer and then it reasons and then it keeps updating that. So, and I think this is a very interesting one from Samsung. I've not heard about Samsung in a while, especially in this whole AI stuff happening. So
Yeah,
it's
this is pretty impressive, right? I mean, it's just not no 7 million. That means potentially can run on my phone. This is
yeah,
super cool. This is very very cool. So I'm seeing lots of frameworks also coming in here. We should maybe do a dedicated episode on that. That
yeah.
how just providing you feedback and updating your sort of system prompt over and over again, you get
Mm.
to very high level accuracy. Um, this is very cool. I mean, this is what we need, right? I mean, we not everybody has to go in and build us more data, more parameters, right?
Mhm.
This is sort of an
Yeah.
outer box thinking that, hey, can we go beyond LLM and do something else? Right.
So I mean, it's also very interesting because looking at it now, it takes the answers that it has given you, and then
Mm,
it just goes on to make it better,
it's a
right?
sort of self-reflects. Like, is this
Yes,
the
self,
right
self.
answer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
So I
cool.
think it's a very interesting one. Very cool. Yeah.
So the next one, I'm going to stay with OpenAI for a while. So the next one is OpenAI's general availability of codecs, their coding agent, right? They're making lots of buzz.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing some folks are switching from Claude to codecs. Um, one of the reason also that OpenAIs are able to release so many products, because I've been hearing that lots of the features and products they're building internally are also sort of held by Codex. Codex is writing a huge chunk of their code now. So that's why they're moving so fast. So the general, so GA release for Codex, their coding agent, which has sort of three major features that came out in this release. One is Slack integration. I know it might sound weird to people that this is big, but Slack is huge in enterprises. Okay, this is very critical. So that means from Slack, having conversation, you can ping Codex saying, "Hey, do this for me." They have an SDK. So that means you directly don't have to use the Codex CLI. You can build applications on top of Codex using their SDK. A new admin tool for the enterprises. I mean, one thing enterprises love is admin tools so that they feel they're under control. Anyway, so this is pretty good. I mean, some real world impact is some huge names like Cisco is saying 50% faster code reviews. Now, SDK always sort of interested me. So Claude also have an SDK. Like, on a Claude code, they also have an SDK. And I always keep thinking about when will I even use that SDK? So I still don't know. So apparently Instacart is using Codex SDK. So instead of using their CLI, they're using SDK to automate some code cleanup. I guess it's a way for you to build like an apps on top of this SDKs to automate things.
Inside
So
Codex.
for using Codex. So how from okay, so one way to think through this is that I also struggled a little bit. What is this SDK? So how we use Claude from terminal, right? We give a
Yeah.
prompt in Claude and real. So whatever that software that's running behind the CLI, they wrapped it into SDK. So now you can build a Python app that will directly invoke Claude to generate some code.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
you can, in theory, could say that I will take in theory, you could say I will take a problem for Stack Overflow using Stack Overflow API, feed that API through Claude SDK to generate a solution and send the solution back. You can build an app like that now using SDK.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's really
So
smart.
yeah, so for the Plus users, this SDK available. So I'm a Plus user. I should be able to try this. But for others, for admin controls are exclusive for business. So now they have a new business venture, OpenAI called EDU, and enterprise. So they have three divisions: business, EDU, and enterprise. For them, you get admin console.
Wow, I think I like how OpenAI they've done well. They've done well for themselves in 3 years, right? They almost get into the level of Google, Apple, Microsoft, and I think they're already there. They're already there, and it's just 3 years. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
what
so
is
happy.
this? And the top is one of the top 5 most used website in the world, right?
Yeah. I think they run to 200,000
Yeah,
users per
Google is
day.
still number one, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, Google. I mean, Google has taken over my life personally. I can't do anything without Google. All right. So I think I have just one more story. Maybe
Yeah.
you should go on with one more, then I should go on mine.
Okay. All right. Okay. You can wrap it up. There are a bunch of other stuff. I will just quickly go through it. Obviously, the reason I don't cover lots of video API or video generative video or audio stories because I don't understand them very well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so OpenAI Sora, which made lots of news in last couple of weeks. They're straight up they're very impressive, obviously. Video and audio model. They have now a video API. So you don't have to go to Sora to generate videos. Now you can actually developers can create a monitor, download, list, or delete videos. So for any type of content generation marketing folks, it's going to be really, really interesting. So this could be cool for 80/20 if the price point is right. So whenever there is a hard concept that we're explaining, would it be nice we just use Sora API to generate an explainer video that shows how actually that works. So they have created an API for that. So another couple of releases that probably haven't got much of the buzz is GPT-5 Pro. They're the most advanced model, are now available for API. but the price points are crazy, super expensive. But if you have a sort of a problem that you feel like you need the best of the best model to sort of unpack or solve it for you, then you have an API for that. And they created a couple of other things called GPT Real-Time Mini, which is sort of interesting. So if you're building sort of an translation or audio transcribing sort of functionality, now you have
Yeah.
a real-time API that can take an audio stream and generate text in real time through WebRTC or WebSocket.
So I
So a
saw
bunch of
that.
new
I
stuff.
just wanted to ask quickly: does it run locally, or must I be paid or subscribed?
None
I
of
mean,
this runs locally.
oh, okay.
Oh no, no, none of this runs locally. It's not open source, man.
Oh shit! I mean, have to pay them money.
No, video one is all async, obviously. Generating video is going to take some time. So they have webhooks. So you post a
Oh,
video request and the webhook, it will notify you when it's complete. For the real
oh,
time, it's going to stream responses back using
yeah.
WebRTC or WebSocket. So in theory, if you want to build a chat app for Nigeria, let's say, with different accents. So we could potentially have something that I will speak in English. It'll be nice to have an in theory we can do this podcast where I'm speaking in English. That audio we can send using GPT real time, translate that to your local language. What
Oh,
is it called, by the way? Your local language. I should know
we have
this.
multiple languages. We have more than
Which one is
200.
yours? Your mother
So
tongue?
mine is Igbo.
Igu.
So I speak Igbo language.
Igbo.
Igbo
So
language. Igbo
we
language.
could
Yeah.
have a real-time mini turn English to Igbo, and you will hear Igbo back.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. I mean, having it in real time is really cool. It's really cool,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
it's super hard. I mean, latencies are really struggling. So I'm impressive that they have done something like this.
Oh, nice. Right. So I have one last story here, which is from
Mm,
Anthropic, that says that Anthropic is opening an office in India. So the last time we covered that they're opening an office in that OpenAI was opening an office in India, but this time around is Anthropic. Right. Last week also I was at an event. I think it was on Wednesday or Tuesday, thereabout. It
mm,
was an event by Facebook, Meta,
mm,
sorry. Call them Meta,
mhm,
yeah. So it
mm.
was a Meta event. They were giving out, some funding to guys building local solutions here in Nigeria. I think they
Yeah,
gave about $25,000 to the winner, 20,000 to the second place, and I think around 15,000 to the third place. And it
nice.
was yeah, it was a closed door event. I got an invite from someone. Someone sent me an invite and said, "Hey, yeah, you should come for this event." And it was, I think they are really, really itty. They had professors on ground, Nigerian university professors who have learned and studied Llama, how it works, and they are really campaigning, encouraging people to get into the system and all. So it's interesting to see that the big guys are going to China, it's going to India, right? OpenAI some weeks ago, Anthropic also, and
Because
then
their usage data demonstrate in India, the AI usage is off the roofs, man. I think
wow.
for both for
Is it
OpenAI
the
and
population? Is it
huh?
because of the population, or is that something that's taking?
Population and majority of the population is a young crowd, between 25 to 35 in India.
Oh,
So very much tax-paying working professionals that are actively using AI to stand out. So in Open,
oh,
that's why they have a different pricing model. I'm pretty sure Claude's going to have, and not to mention, and second option is obviously skills, right?
yeah,
There are
skills.
lots of great engineering colleges and lots of engineers out there. Um,
Mhm.
but it's interesting. So I mean, Facebook is going for Africa. I mean, it makes sense. I do have
Are they
one.
building? I'm just concerned if they are building on top of, are they building with these models? Are they building with, I mean,
I think
building on
mainly, I'm pretty sure they're building. I mean, there are lots of startups popping up there as well.
AI
They're
startups?
building AI startups. Yeah, yeah. They're definitely building, and there are lots of users also. Uh, so I mean, in a couple of cents. I mean, they're going in, and I saw whoever I should know his name. He was sitting with the Prime Minister of India and talking about Claude. It's very interesting how they're doing top down. You're a
Yeah,
company opening a business there. Why? I mean, I don't understand those things, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's one of the reasons. The just usage, sheer usage and interest in this is just off the charts. That's
of
why
the
I feel
chat.
like fundamentally infrastructure is so critical. Africa needs to think through how to quickly build infrastructure, give internet to everybody. Everybody should have access to internet, because not having access to this technology, this tool set is a problem, right?
Yeah,
It's a competitive advantage now. I mean, we talked about this, right? The
yeah,
better you can. I mean, the biggest problem right now in the industry is not whether, I think we're getting past the point of saying these tools are becoming really, really good, right? I mean, we are taking, people are realizing that, hey, I can get value out of this.
yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
the question is that's the skill shortage is right now not having enough people who knows how to use those tools properly. That's a skill
Mm.
shortage right now in the market. Um, anyway, I do have one last Anthropic story I really want to mention because I love these guys. So Anthropic Code released something called a plugin system. Okay, so you know how they have there's a way you can create subagents in Claude Code. There's a way you can add slash commands. There's a concept of hook also, where you can have Claude Code sort of use your call some tools to validate. For an example, you can add a hook that will run automatic test cases every time Claude makes some code changes. So they're
Mm.
building a plugin sort of ecosystem now that allows you to organize and and release some of these features. So, Claude plugins is a way to extend Claude capability with custom commands, tools, and workflows. So, so one way to think about this is that one of the complaints that we usually hear is that. So, for an example, I have a well, not a unique. I have my own workflow how I use these tools. Right?
Yeah.
Would be nice for me to sort of encode that workflow and share with Joy, for an example. Okay,
Okay.
because I've been using value, I've been iterated on this, I've figured out what works, others work. It would be nice if I can turn into something and share with my teammates, right? So that they don't have to go
Mm.
through the problem. So plugin is
Yeah.
the way to do that, right? In plugin, I can encode on my workflow, my tools, my hooks, release into what they call is a marketplace. Marketplace is nothing but every organization could have a marketplace, right?
Yeah.
That way, uh, teams can share their workflows as a plugin and publish into marketplace. Then any new developer joins your organization can sort of download that plugin and take benefit of that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's what they
I
released.
see. Yeah. I
I,
think
I
that's
I
also
think
going
this is
to
need.
unlock.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
very
it's
much.
a need. It will unlock community feature for them also because people now get to like spend time more inside their ecosystem. So you can share something with me. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
even use that, but then because you shared it with me, I will now be forced to go in and then use it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm like plan the system prompts and the stuff that we
Yeah.
use, the tools. Yeah, it's super helpful.
All right, cool. I think that's it for this week. It's been a very interesting week, and then yeah, thank you very much for always showing up and joining us on this podcast. I think we had about 3 to 5 people. I don't know this for some reasons. The platform we are using here tracks only YouTube streaming. I just checked Twitter manually to see that there are about 16 people on Twitter who joined us. So and we're
Oh,
only
really?
seeing
Yeah.
those from YouTube here. I don't know why it's
So,
working that way.
yeah.
And
And
then
ours, I mean, we are still live though, right? So it's okay to talk about it, but we see that people watch this more offline though, right? Isn't that the
yeah,
data? Yeah,
yeah, I think it's also the data also says people watch it when we are done. So we have
yeah,
people coming back to watch it. All right. So thank you very much for joining us. Same time next week, we are going to be here just to talk about what's happening in the AI space, and we are going to do it with we're focused on developer side of things. That is what we call this is 10x Developer Podcast, strictly on AI. So thank you very much for joining us this week. See you next week. And bye bye. Enjoy the rest of your week.